Hi, I'm Wendy Ju. I'm an Associate Professor of Information Science from Cornell Tech in New York City. Given the current situation with the COVID-19 pandemic, many of us will be trying to understand users and work from a distance. Our team recently performed a remote pilot deployment of a remote field ethnography system that we call FarmWoz to observe people using automated farm vehicles. This work took place at Crayer Eggs in upstate New York throughout last year's growing season. We instrumented a tractor that let us interview farm workers performing vehicle-related work. This work was initially undertaken to allow sustained observation of fieldwork over longer periods of time from geographically distant locales. This work provides a case study in how to perform observational research when geographic and bodily distance have become the norm. This project had a multidisciplinary, multi-institution collaborative team which included both HCI system builders, ethnographers, and people who are interested in agriculture and farm technology specifically. Here's a system diagram of the system that we used, FarmWoz, which was adapted from Nicholas Marlaro's PhD work. This system let us form a remote connection between researchers and the farm worker in the field. One of the greatest aspects of this remote system is that it allowed multiple people from the team to work together to observe and interact with the remote worker through an in-vehicle speech agent. This makes it possible to perform sense-making or to bring perspectives from different disciplines in a way that would be impossible in an in-person setup, but also to engage the worker and to ask questions about things that are happening in the moment. Here's a short video clip showing a vignette from last season.
Rocky. So, try to back up to here and we want it up.
Do you ever use a rocky patch?
Because this cultivator is so expensive, I try not to hit the big rocks. The nice part is being on a third pass, especially with the other big tractors coming through here like this one. You can tell where your rows are because of where the headlands, where they've been ran over. And you can also tell in the middle of the field that we got coming up here. This field's been done 3 times now, or twice, and there shouldn't be much of any grass between the rows at all. So when you get to a point like up here where you can see some grass going all the way across your set of 12 rows, you can tell there was something there that somebody didn't like.
In that last clip, we're able to see how we can strike up questions based on real-time events that are occurring in the field and are able to observe the operator and what they're pointing at ahead in the field or behind with the cultivator. We detail the way that the system works in the paper and also outline findings from the project to date. I'm just going to recap a few points here. First of all, we found that preparation setup for the remote fieldwork is a critical path. It actually keeps things from happening at all or not. We were able to be on site 3 times for this field deployment to scout the location and the vehicles, a second time to install the equipment, and then to fix location sensing a third time. To be fully remote, we actually need to design the out-of-box experience so that the in-field participant doesn't have to do any of these things and we don't have to make that trip. Second of all, rich instrumentation is key to capturing context. We originally set up what we thought was a superset of the data feed that we would need with the intent of assessing which data streams could be sacrificed later on. We found, however, that different views and different data feeds were all essential to capturing the context, which enabled us to understand what was happening in the field or to know what to ask. Finally, we believe that there is a big difference between what we're doing here, which is remotely interacting with the worker the way that you would if you were in the cabin or interviewing somebody, and surveillance or monitoring with a camera. Our setup lets us ask about things as they happen, but it also keeps the worker aware that their actions are observed. And the worker did sometimes ask to kind of like turn everything off and come back later when something had happened that we weren't supposed to watch. This means, however, that we're really only able to gather data when the remote researchers and the workers are available at the same time, which means that we miss out on lots of moments that we would like to be able to see, which we discuss more in the paper. So we're really excited to talk about this with other people who are working on remote fieldwork, so please get in contact.